the d5 pawn is weak, right? So the knight is defending it. You just go bishop g5 and you want to take this and then win this pawn. And in this way, white is better. But Gukesh goes knight d4. And here, Narayanan must get rid of this knight. This is a pesky knight. Get rid of it. And after rook takes d4, play rook c8. c3 is slightly weakened. This is good for black. But if you take c takes d4 here, still rook a c8 and black is fine. It's not like black is better or something, but definitely things are under control. But Narayanan goes b4. This is a bad move because now after c takes b4, and you can see Gukesh is instantly ready. C takes b4. Bishop takes b4. Now get your last piece into the game as Gukesh. You know, you have a beautiful knight. You have a beautiful bishop. Your bishop here is also doing a good job. Pawn is controlling a lot of space in the center. The only piece that is not playing in the game is this rook on a1, and he gets it into the game. Fantastic move. And now he's looking at the c6 square. This is a great position here for Gukesh, and black is in big trouble. Bishop a5 played by Narayanan, and white to move and win. Look, the c6 square is important. Knight is controlling it. Go bishop g5. Take this guy and just settle down on the c6 square. There's just no way in which black can counter this. And Gukesh has 17 minutes to find this very strong move. Bishop g5. Will he play it? What? He sacrifices a piece. He plays knight c6. What is Gukesh's idea here? You can see him slightly staring at his opponent, getting up from the board. He feels very confident because he's attacking the bishop, and if the bishop moves, he wants to take on e7 and then take on d5. So clearly Narayanan has to take on c6, and you can see that he's stopped in his tracks. He's a bit surprised. Knight takes c6, and now comes Gukesh's kind of brilliant idea here, which is to take the pawn on d5. And now the point is bishop takes c6 would attack the queen. So the only defensive move now is knight takes e5. Insanely crazy, because after bishop a8, the queen is attacked, but you play your knight to d3 and attack opponent's queen. And a variation could go queen f3, queen e7, rook d3, bishop d3, queen d3, rook a8, and black is still in the game. But Narayanan now blunders with knight b4. That is a terrible move, because now after bishop takes a8, the queen attacks. The queen is attacked, and now knight d3 is not as powerful because this attack on the queen does not come through. Gukesh taking his time here. He's clearly winning. If you see, he will be exchange up here and a pawn up. He takes the rook. So 3 points up. Narayanan gets a pawn back with queen a4. Maybe this was his idea all throughout. But even if you just bring your piece back, it is just a clear exchange up position for white. But in fact, Gukesh finds rook a1. He's a bit surprised. What is Narayanan doing here? The queen is attacked, the bishop would be attacked, and so is the pawn. And all is done here. White is completely winning. Queen b3 played by SL Narayanan. And now Gukesh can maybe exchange the queens with queen f3. Yes, there is some trouble with h3 pawn. You could also take rook takes a5. That's how winning this position is. There are many ways. But he goes bishop e4, and he tells Narayanan that your piece is I want to trade off a few pieces. And that's how he wants to play. And with 15 minutes on the clock, Narayanan is lost here. There's no way for him. He goes bishop takes e4. Gukesh is going to take back that with the queen. And there is a small tactical nuance here, which is that you can take the pawn on h3. And if you take rook a5, there is queen takes g4 followed by the rook hanging. So that's what Narayanan is banking on when he played queen to h3, which is a good move. But now Gukesh should not take the bishop, but he can improve his position with bishop g3. It seems like a good move here. He has 13 minutes to work this solution out as to how is he playing for a win here. and Gukesh goes bishop e3, and he tells Narayanan that, hey, your bishop is hanging now, I've defended my pawn, if you move the bishop your knight would hang, so all in all this doesn't look that great for you. Narayanan has to find a move now. He goes bishop c7, and if Gukesh takes the knight and is greedy, then bishop takes e5 is the final threat with bishop h2 and queen h2 coming in. So Gukesh must not take this. This is important. You can see how the top players keep posing their opponents with problems until the very end. That's what makes them so strong. Now bishop c7, the best move is rook a c1, and Gukesh finds it. Wow, he finds it. And the point is, if you play bishop takes e5, I have queen takes e5. If rook e5, there is rook c8, checkmate. And if you play queen g4, I can drop my queen back to g3 with a winning advantage. So he takes bishop b8. Also note, you couldn't take with the rook because of queen a8 and a back rank mate. So bishop b8 played, and now Gukesh, well, one way is to be a little bit careful and go queen g2, try to trade, but Gukesh is not one to go on the back foot. He goes rook c5, he defends his pawn here, and he tells his opponent that next one, your knight is hanging, so do something about it. But the knight is actually out of squares as well. There are no good squares for the knight. I'm thinking about this position. Narayanan plays his pawn up to h5. And the point here is that if you play queen takes b4, then after bishop takes e5, there is some counterplay, and also the back rank problems are now solved because the pawn came to h5. This is still winning for white, but Gukesh wants to maybe do it a little more smoothly. Rook c1 is the best move. And with this move, what he's saying is that you may win this pawn, but next move I'm going rook c8 and trading your rooks, and also your bishop would be hanging. So very nice move, rook c1. It also shows how Gukesh is so good at converting positions. He's not even sort of getting in any trouble. He's playing the best moves, and he is making Narayanan's task absolutely difficult to make a comeback. And he's moving in the distance back there, while Narayanan is left alone to find some move to continue the game. Queen takes g4 is played, but now queen takes queen seems very logical. Gukesh takes the queen, h takes on g4, and now the final move, which is rook c8, where you are bound to lose a rook because after takes, the bishop is hanging. Narayanan stops the clock